Good morning. It's February 20th. We're looking at the S&P 500. This is a 5-minute chart. And I want to back up a little bit here to yesterday. If you remember yesterday, we said that we had this higher target up here at 0.25. And really all morning, earlier in the morning over here, we were looking for potentially there could be a bigger pullback. And then we got this after the market started to push here. This was the FOMC minutes released right here. The market pushed up here to 93.75. That's a new all-time high. And then pulled back to this 85. Well, we had yesterday, I think we had 85.5. So right here. And it probed. Oh, no, we had, 85.5. There we go. Sorry. So we had 85.5 and it pulled back to that. It probed it by a tick. And then the Globex opened. We opened and traded up to 97.50. And then pulled all the way back. And where did we pull back to? To 76.50, which was really the pullback that we wanted in the morning. I'm not going to go back and find it, but if you remember, I said in the chat that what I was looking for was the that 76.50 was the pullback that I wanted in the morning for getting long. And then we did get that in the Globex, and then it becomes pretty obvious about right in this area we transitioned over from using Wednesday's prices to Thursday's prices, and then for sure right here we used 91 within a tick, and then we came right back down here. That's 2 ticks, used that within a tick, and then came down here, probed this by a point. And just what I was about to say, which had not seen what was happening right here yet, but basically they started, they tried to push this. Hit some news at 5:30 Pacific time. And so it was unemployment claims were as expected, and the Philly Fed Index or whatever it was incredibly high, which is supposed to be a good sign for business. So they could put in a double bottom here. That's possible. Really, we'd want to see this area hold right here. If we don't, I drew these in, and I know they're fairly close together, but I did want you to have them. So we have this 76 area, and it is possible we could probe that to 76 and put in a double bottom there. That's a couple ticks off. That's a whole lot less ideal. So we still have about an hour, about 50 minutes before the open. So they might work some things out here by the open. We'll see how that looks. But if they end up holding here at the open, then we'll probably get another push down. It would make a lot of sense if we could come back to, I drew these in so you could kind of see what's going on here. We haven't necessarily used the 76 area yet. We used 76.50. It's really close. That's why I don't necessarily love it for any kind of aggressive buying or anything, but you can see we used here, we used there, we used there. It didn't really ever come back here. Maybe they probed that down a couple ticks. So basically, if they can't hold it right up here, or if they can't hold it here for the buying, then very, very likely we come back to that 70.25. And that would make a lot of sense. We broke up above it and we never came back. So very likely they would come back to that 70.25. So if they come back here, we'd really want to see the buyers step in there, and then that could push us to new highs again. This today would be more like 0.4. So yeah, there we go. So likely they're going to want to come back here. So if they bring it up here, there could be a good short opportunity up here. Now, on the other, how far could we come? Let's talk about that for a minute. So if they don't hold 70, Then we need to get through 66, and then 61.25, and then 59, 56.25, and that would be back to 52. And then kind of one at a time after that. So if they can't hold 52, then one at a time down to the next ones. That's a long ways away. I'm trying to give you kind of the whole bigger picture scenario here. It changes a little bit from day to day. The prediction points change, but that's that side of it. So now let's look at what could happen over here. So I pointed this out earlier. They came up here, they used that. They came up here, they used that. So at this point, if they don't hold below, let's actually look right here. Show you one of the things that I use. So we're going to look right here together. So I like the tick charts for this purpose, as they show those swings really well. So yeah, it's really hard to see much else other than if they don't hold right here at the KP. They can't hold the KP for lower. We could probe up. We really wouldn't want to take out the last, so that chart isn't very useful right now. So we really wouldn't want to take out the last swing up here. So if we come up here, really we'd want to hold at the KP. If they probe higher, we could see maybe 81.25, but we really wouldn't want to come up more than here at 82.25. If they do, we're probably back to that buying scenario. So for selling, we'd want them to hold this area and then push it down to here and then buy it down here. But we've used this, so we wouldn't really want to sell here again, and we really wouldn't want to sell here again. So if the buyers come in, it should be a pretty good sign that they're going to work their way up to 04 here. And really, whatever this is, there's no, the news this morning, the Philly Fed index or whatever the report was from this morning has not actually been that good. Right here, Philly Fed Manufacturing Index. So it measures how strong the outlook is for business. It's not hugely important, but it's you can see it was previously 17. It was expected at 10.1, and it hasn't been this high since May of 2018. So this is a pretty strong, and that's what we saw right here on the news. And then we did get this probe lower. So we'll just see what they do. If they bring it up and they hold it up here, then lower. And if they bring it up and they break it up and then they come back and they hold here or here, right? So they can hold it in one of these pullback areas, then we're going to go higher. Otherwise, back down to that lower price. So there you have it for this morning, and we'll see you in the live trade signals.